In 1938, Hitler invaded Austria in the Anschluss, and one of the first things he decreed was that the country switch entirely to driving on the right. The Austro-Hungarian Empire for a long time was a largely left-driving part of the world, at least according to the British Motor Museum. This started to change in the Napoleonic Wars because Napoleon, as he conquered countries throughout Europe, demanded that they switch to driving on the right, which was the French custom at the time. In the early 20th century, Austria was half driving on the left, half driving on the right, Vienna, the major city, being a left-driving city. The country was slowly starting to change over to right-side driving because the country is landlocked and it made more sense to have the same customs as its neighboring countries. But then Hitler arrived in 1938 and effectively pulled a Napoleon and said you all must drive on the right and decreed that it happen overnight, which of course was completely impossible. Cars for driving on the left have the driver sitting in the right-hand side, so when that driver is suddenly put on the right-hand side, he can't really see anything. You're driving down the road, you're looking at the sidewalk, you can't see the center line. You also can't just uproot trams and train tracks and start putting them on the other side of the road. It took months for the change to be fully enacted, and then Hungary had to go through the exact same thing when Nazis invaded in 1944. The political element of driving sidedness doesn't end with Napoleon and Hitler. It actually extends to the United States. The colonists who made themselves at home in the 1700s were British citizens and thus brought the left driving convention over to the new country. After the American Revolution, the colonies decided to bite their proverbial thumb at their former British overlords and swapped over to right-hand driving. The American automobile's dominance in the early 20th century was what actually forced former British colonies in Canada to switch from left-side driving to right. People tell me all the time to stop talking about politics, but politics is literally in everything, including the technology and social structures that you deal with every day.